For about the past 4 years, I have gotten 4 to 5 hours of sleep per night.
It's impossible to get to bed at a reasonable hour.
I usually feel pretty tired in the morning.
I don't know what a good night's sleep is.
I've just been totally sluggish.
I'm always napping. I just feel so tired.
Tired most of the days.
All I want to do is sleep.
I'm so exhausted.
I'm exhausted.
Totally exhausted. All of my high school has been sort of spent in a sleep-deprived haze.
Jenna, are you awake?
I'm awake. I hate mornings. They are so totally miserable. Why is getting myself up for school such a major effort? My friend Daniel tells me he somehow manages to get all sorts of sleep and just pops right out of bed. He's lucky I like him. I'm the one with the license, but Daniel's the one who's awake. I sometimes think he should be driving me to school.
Morning, guys. Okay, is everybody ready to write this down? Okay, 2 big reminders. The first one, your final projects are due June
Why
1st.
does my
All of you
first
know
class
that.
have to be so
I
early?
need everybody to
It's
give me your
bio,
final proposals
and I
by
really
the end
like
of the
Mr.
day.
Hathaway,
Jenna?
even though he's kind of gotten on my case about my slight tendency to oversleep.
We're starting a whole new system today. Let me draw your attention back up to the skeleton again. Let's look at bones.
I'm so tired, I can barely stay awake in
Let's
class.
look at how that's related to the skeleton.
We have this final assignment, and Mr. Hathaway says we should choose something that really interests us. That's easy. I want to know why I'm always so tired.
All right, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Please don't forget your journal.
So that's my topic. Why are my friends and I sleepy most of the time? And what can we do about it? Then I had this idea that maybe I could make a video for my report.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Great.
Now, it takes a long time to make a really good video.
My buddy Daniel is some kind of video expert, and I knew I could count on him for help.
It's taken me years to get as good as I am, so.
Thanks. Anyway, I want my video to be quality, and I'm pretty motivated to find out more about sleep. I started off by interviewing Daniel. Do you get enough sleep? Why or why not?
Yeah, I get enough sleep. Are you sure you got the focus right there?
Daniel, it's fine, really. I have it under control. Just let's finish the interview.
I definitely don't get enough sleep.
On a typical school night, I probably get about 5 or 6 hours of sleep.
Between 6 and 7 hours.
6, 5?
3.
I don't think that's enough at all.
Not for me.
We're all
Okay, so practically all my friends think they don't get nearly enough sleep. But Mr. Hathaway wants us to do actual research. So I had to find some way to show whether my friends and I are really tired, or if we just think we are. On the web, I found out that sleep is a big topic, and that there are experts on sleep. How cool is that? I was lucky enough to set up a video chat with Dr. James Moss at Cornell University. Hi, Dr. Moss.
Hi, Jenna.
Thank you so much for helping me with this project.
I'm really glad you contacted me because there's a lot of great stuff going on in sleep research today.
Well, I only have a few questions to ask.
Sure.
How do you know if you're really sleep deprived?
Sleep experts have developed a quiz to find out if you're sleep deprived. Just ask yourself the following questions. Does a warm room or a boring class ever make you drowsy? Do you fall asleep the instant your head hits the pillow? Do you need an alarm clock to wake you up? Do you repeatedly hit the snooze bar? And do you sleep extra hours on the weekends? Answer yes to any 2 of those questions, and we consider you sleep deprived.
So we're sleep deprived. It's not the end of the world, is it?
It could be if you're behind the wheel of a car. But even if you're not in a life or death situation, sleep is vitally important. In fact, it's the major determinant of daytime success. It affects your mood, your energy, your ability to concentrate, your ability to remember. You'll do much better in school and on the athletic fields if you've had adequate sleep.
I try and get a lot of sleep before a sporting event because I know that anytime you stay up late and play sports the next day really affects your performance.
My main thing in hockey is my speed, and I don't have my speed if I don't get a lot of sleep.
If I'm playing ball, I'm going to be lazy, lagging around and everything. You know, I'm not going to be in the mood to do anything.
I don't know about you, but I always had this idea that I could just skip sleep if I had to. Now I understand that it's literally impossible to go without sleep indefinitely. Eventually, my brain and I will succumb to sleep. It turns out that sleep is a basic drive of nature. I read something that put it pretty well. It said that sleep is food for your brain. We humans live our lives according to the rhythms of night and day, the 24-hour rotation of the Earth on its axis. That's the way it's always been. Back in the time of cavemen and women, way, way before electricity was discovered, people slept much more. I decided that'd be cool to show in my video, and a couple of my friends helped out. Thousands of years ago, nightlife was simpler. A typical evening went like this: find a safe place, lie down, and rest. Most people probably got about 10 hours of sleep each and every night. Sleep was a good way to recuperate from daytime hunting and gathering. That was the way it was. Human biology and societies around the world adjusted to the rhythm of day and night. Then, thanks to good old American ingenuity, things changed big time. In 1879, Thomas Edison developed the electric light bulb, and it didn't take long before there were lots of reasons to stay awake after dark.
Research has shown that teenagers need 9¼ hours of sleep every night to be fully alert all day long. And they average, unfortunately, 6.1. That's a 3-hour deficit every single night.
Aside from hanging out with friends, what are we doing instead of sleeping?
Pretty much homework keeps me up.
Watching TV,
Email, play rehearsal, dance,
football,
piano,
Swimming,
voice,
lacrosse,
kickboxing, tutoring.
taekwondo.
I take on way too many commitments.
One of the reasons I don't start on my homework right after school is because I have a job babysitting Jake and Sarah. I like these kids, and I can use the cash. Turns out I'm not the only one earning money after school. Between 1/2 and 2/3 of U.S. high school students have jobs. Then there's the rest of my life, like my band. I'm so tired I keep losing it. I'm also messing up in school, and I think Mr. Hathaway is done cutting me any slack.
When I haven't had enough sleep, it really affects my performance in school a lot.
I don't do very well on my tests.
I get really, really bad grades. I'm failing chemistry.
I find that it affects my mental state.
it's just hard to think.
Professor Mary Carskadden is a sleep expert at Brown University. One of the things she studies is how sleep affects performance in school.
We've done a lot of studies looking at teenagers, and we looked at the sleep data, and what we found was that the students who were getting the better grades were also getting more sleep at night.
More sleep and better grades? That sounded pretty good to me, which got me wondering about how that works. I checked out a cool website and found that sleep causes dramatic, measurable changes in the electrical and chemical activity of the brain. Whoa.
In our lab, we'll put electrodes on kids to measure sleep. And we measure the electrical activity of the brain in the region under our electrodes. I think a lot of us have the impression that when we go to sleep, it's just like when you park the car in the garage and everything just shuts down. Well, Lots of things happen in the brain when you're asleep. There's this very interestingly organized and orchestrated pattern of activity that happens in the brain.
I wanted to show some of this nighttime activity in my video, and I decided to try for a time-lapse shot of an entire night of sleep. None of my friends would let me film them sleeping, so that left me as the subject. With a special setting, I condensed a whole night's sleep into just 15 seconds. Until I watched the tape playback, I had no idea that sleeping people move around so often, as many as 60 to 70 times a night. One of the things I caught on tape was my REM sleep. About 50 years ago, scientists noticed that the eyes of sleeping people occasionally darted back and forth under their eyelids. They investigated further and found that rapid eye movements, or REM, accompanied dreams. During REM sleep, messages from the motor cortex of the brain can't reach the muscles, so your body is completely relaxed. Meanwhile, your sleeping brain weaves together the familiar with the strange. Sometimes the really strange.
Hey, Jenna, you got my assignment?
REM sleep is the period where most dreaming takes place. But REM sleep is much more important than that because of its involvement in memory and learning and in performance. During REM sleep, we change short-term memories into long-term memories. Connections are made in the brain. Ideas are organized and reorganized. So if you don't get adequate sleep, you're not going to perform well the next day, whether it's in school, in extracurricular activities, on the athletic field. REM sleep is critical. REM occurs every 90 minutes during sleep. The longest REM period is between the 7th and the 8th hour of sleep. So if you're sleeping less than 8 hours, you're missing out on essential brain activity. In essence, sleep deprivation makes you stupid.
When I don't get sleep, it's really hard for me to just function.
I try to avoid people when I haven't slept because I know I act stupid.
I sometimes don't think when I say stuff in class.
I even have a hard time walking sometimes.
I was walking down the hall and I was so tired that I walked into a locker.
Scientists are now using a technique called fMRI, or functional magnetic resonance imagery, to measure activity in the brain of people who have had adequate sleep and these same people when they've been sleep deprived. If you ask people who have had adequate sleep to solve math problems, we see activity in various parts of the human brain, and the people are getting the problems right. When these same people have been sleep deprived, you see very little activity in the brain, and they're not doing nearly as well.
To make matters worse, it turns out that sleep loss accumulates. Each of us keeps a personal sleep debt account. Imagine that you have a backpack to carry bricks that equal your sleep debt. For every hour you're awake, you add a brick to your backpack. At the end of the day, if you've been up for 16 hours,
Why did I agree to do this again?
you'll be struggling with a heavy load of 16 bricks.
Okay, take a walk.
Sleep debts can build up. 1 hour of sleep loss each night for a week is like pulling an all-nighter. That's a heavy load to carry. For each hour you sleep, you can lose 2 bricks. The only way to empty your backpack after a 16-hour stretch of being awake is to sleep for at least 8 hours.
I feel like I'm floating.
When I don't get 8 hours of sleep, I start thinking about coffee.
I'm a real coffee addict.
Drink a lot of coffee, a lot of caffeine.
I always drink it.
I was definitely dependent on coffee every morning.
Definitely have to get coffee in my system to function.
My friends and I hang out at a local coffee shop, and we're part of a trend. These days, teenagers are drinking more coffee. You probably know that coffee can help for a short time, but it won't truly counteract sleep loss. Sleep experts say that it's a bad idea to drink coffee after the middle of the afternoon. since that can keep you from falling asleep at a reasonable time and then staying asleep for the night. And then there's alcohol. We all know that kids shouldn't drink alcohol, but even for adults, I found out that drinking without enough sleep has this huge impact. One drink for a sleep-deprived person can be like 6 drinks for a well-rested person. That's terrible news for anyone stupid enough to drive in that condition. Don't do it. Well, I don't drink, but I've driven when I've been pretty tired, and so have my friends.
I was basically very tired at the wheel, and I totaled my mom's car in the result of that, and it was really devastating, actually.
The estimates now are that there are 100,000 accidents a year that result from drowsy drivers. And when you look specifically at crashes caused by a sleepy driver, there was no alcohol, there were no drugs, there was no other reason for the crash except sleepiness. Over half of those crashes, the driver was aged 16 to 25.
It was a week where I'd had a lot of work, getting ready for finals. I've been sleeping an average of about probably like 6 hours a night.
You should never get behind the wheel of a car if you're tired.
I just kind of blacked out for about a couple seconds and went right off the road through some woods and into a stream bed.
You can be alert and a second later be totally asleep if you're carrying a large sleep debt.
All of a sudden, the next thing I knew, there was a 3-foot drop off the road, and that definitely woke me up with the airbag in my face.
You can doze off for a second, and if you're driving 60 miles an hour, you will have traveled 88 feet in that second.
Well, the car was totaled in the crash, so...
Don't think that having a cup of coffee, waiting to get a second wind, or turning up the radio volume or turning on the air conditioner is going to keep you awake.
I'd had the windows completely open and the music was on, and I still fell asleep.
Okay, I'm totally convinced I should get more sleep, especially if I'm going to be driving. And Dr. Moss told me how to make that happen.
Get 9¼ hours of sleep every single night. Try to go to bed at the same time every night, including the weekends, and wake up at the same time every morning without an alarm clock. If you keep a regular sleep-wake schedule, you can reduce your total sleep need. Get continuous sleep, one long block of good unfragmented sleep at night, and make up for lost sleep. If you're behind in your sleep, start going to bed earlier or take a 20-minute power nap after school.
Aren't naps great? Especially if you limit them to about 20 minutes. Much longer than that, and you'll feel groggy when you wake up and maybe have trouble falling asleep when you should at night. But naps are pretty handy when you're sleep deprived. I've taken all the sleep tips to heart, and they work. Lately, I've been sleeping much more, and it's really helping. It seems strange, but the more sleep I get, the more time I have.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's almost done.
So you don't need my help to finish it up?
No, I think I'm doing really well.
Great.
Thanks.
Excellent. Very cool.
I've also gotten organized. For instance, when I have a long-term assignment, like say a video about sleep, or maybe a recording date with my band, I have to plan ahead. I keep myself straight with an overall master schedule and a daily list of things I've got to do. I'm trying to be a little more realistic about how long things are going to take to get done. It's important for me to make real progress with my assignments every week. I try not to kid myself into thinking I'm going to start and finish a big project in one night. Finally, I managed to switch things around so I do my homework first and have fun later. That made a big difference.
Whoa, that's awesome. How'd you pull off that effect?
I have some tricks up my sleeve.
It's kind of wild. After all these years, I finally feel awake, and I'm much happier. Putting my project together taught me a bunch of new things about sleep. Sleep is vital for doing your best. In class, in sports, at work, in relationships. Basically, everything that's important. Sleep is just as significant for good health and long life as exercise and nutrition. Some say it's the most important factor. It affects everything, from schoolwork to driving. When you've had enough sleep, you're primed to do your best. You'll be in a better mood and be more creative, more efficient, and more productive. Oh, Mr. Hathaway seemed pretty happy with my video.
Excellent job, Jenna.
And yeah, I aced it.